Hi and welcome back to our kitchen. Today we're making a drunken salsa. It's a thick salsa that we make by actually combining the ingredients in the molcajete. It's a really delicious spicy salsa that I'm sure you'll enjoy, so join us as we prepare it. And here we have the ingredients for the drunken salsa. We'll start with tomatoes, and these tomatoes are what we picked out of our garden this morning, so it is truly a fresh salsa. Cilantro, this is about 1/4 of a bunch. Salt and pepper, 1/4 of an onion, 4 jalapeno peppers, 4 to 5 cloves of garlic, 1 beer, and lime juice to taste. So the first steps of making the drunken salsa is to roast or grill your ingredients. You can see we're using just a standard 2-burner griddle to put a nice char on the tomatoes and onion, and you'll notice these are serrano peppers, not jalapenos. But we're grilling these for about 5 or 10 minutes until the tomatoes are soft. The garlic comes off first because we don't want that to burn and spoil the flavor. But you'll see the tomatoes have gotten a nice char markings on them. Those are soft and really gonna blend up well in the molcajete. The onion has a nice char and caramelization on it, and the peppers are starting to get a nice roasted black char. First thing we'll do once the vegetables have been roasted is we're gonna make a paste of the salt and the grilled garlic. This is just ground in the molcajete until it makes a nice paste. Now, if you don't have a molcajete, you can use a stainless steel or a regular bowl with a wooden spoon. We just prefer using the molcajete. It gives it a little bit more of a traditional spin on preparing this salsa. We'll start by grinding up the onion. This takes a little bit because the onion, no matter how soft you get, it's still a little tough to grind up with the molcajete. You don't necessarily have to puree the onion perfectly. You can leave it in chunks, but as you work through and you're grinding down the onion, you'll be left with a nice chunky base to start the salsa with. And then we'll remove the onion from the molcajete because it's not enough space to continue mashing up the tomatoes and peppers. We'll separate out the onion, put them in a small dish for the next steps. Next, we grind up the peppers. Now just be careful with this because you're grinding, and if any of this juice flies up in your eyes, it could sting and burn for a little bit. You know that the heat of the pepper is in the vein and the seeds, so just be careful when you're grinding these up. Again, we'll pull the peppers off to the side and on to the next step, which is to simply repeat the process with the tomatoes until they are mashed, smashed, and ready to serve. That's the look of concentration. So in a regular saucepan over medium heat, we'll just add all the ingredients together, and we're going to simmer those for 5 or 10 minutes just to cook it down and thicken it up just a little bit. The last ingredient we need to add, though, is our beer. You can use whichever beer you prefer. Newcastle happens to be one of my favorites. You only need a half a bottle, which leaves the other half for chef's discretion. And we'll allow that beer to cook in with the other ingredients, simmer down, and we'll add salt and pepper to taste for just the last 2 or 3 minutes. Doesn't that look delicious? So once everything is cooked down, we'll transfer it back to the molcajete. This is the traditional serving dish for the drunken salsa as well. So you prep it and serve it out of the same dish. So we're almost done with the preparation of the salsa, but there are 2 more ingredients that need to be added. First is the lime juice. We'll squeeze it in fresh and stir that in. And then the last ingredient is freshly chopped cilantro. This gives it that last bit of flavor that is just perfect. So now that we've made the drunken salsa, it's time to try it. That is really good. It's a thicker salsa, and it's got a nice heat to it. And boy, does it taste good. You can taste the roasted peppers, and the spice is just the way I like it. So, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Salsas and More.